Hello, everyone. This is DevTube once again. I know it's been a very long time since we've actually made a video, and unfortunately, due to classes and everything, it, there was a big delay. But fortunately, now today we have a very special guest. He has been in the field of mechanical engineering for quite some time now, and has a lot of experience to back up the questions that we will ask him today. So. Uh, Without me rambling on, why don't you introduce yourself today?
Um, Assalamu alaikum. Um,
Um,
my name is Nizamul Islam, and I went to. I came here actually in USA in 1993. I don't know if I should include that. And I started high school in FDR. I don't know if you guys know that or not.
Franklin
Uh,
Delano Roosevelt, yeah,
yeah,
heard
Franklin
that.
Delano. So I got it done in '96. Went to City College, did there um, the engineering, mechanical engineering, and my it took me quite some extra times due to I was doing college and was working part time. So I couldn't do like how you usually could take 12 plus credits, maybe 14, 16, 15 credits, but I couldn't. Uh, First 2 semesters I did full time credits, and then starting the third semester I started working in Brooklyn Navy Yard. That was a fire protection company. I interviewed and they hired me. So I worked there. We'll get back to that. And then I worked there for about, it's been a while, 5 years actually.
Mm,
And then they're actually a fire protection company located in Brooklyn Navy Yard in Brooklyn. And then after 5 years, I moved to consulting firms, doing basically mechanical engineering, Flack and Kurtz. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that company name. I stayed there. I worked there for 7 years as a mechanical design engineer. Basically, we did heating. Basically, my career, my field turned as my fire protection due to my first job was a fire protection company. So I got kind of locked into that. I was I found it interesting, and I never actually moved from there. So I kept the same field as a fire protection. So Flack and Kurtz, I worked there for 7 years, and then TM&M fire protection 2010 to 2015. That's another 5 years. So basically, my whole life, as of 2015, I worked. As Tazor might know, I have my own company. Started in 2015 after I um, actually quit TM&M to start my own company. So now I have my own fire protection company, and I'm working. Funny thing is, when I was at my first job, active fire protection, back in 2000, I had my chief engineer. He was from India. So I had built a good relation with him. He actually loved me, and he was nice and really active. So we kept talking, even though I moved on to consulting firms. He stayed with active for a long time. So we spoke back and forth. But now, funny thing is, the reason I'm mentioning that, he's actually working I don't want to say working for me. He's working with me.
No,
So he's helping me rather.
I see.
So as interesting, I just wanted to mention that we spoke a few times, and then he came back and he said, "You know what? I want to work with you. I want to help you." So he's working with me for the last couple of years now.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know if you guys want to. I did the fundamentals of engineering FE in 2004, and then I also did my PE in fire protection in 2004. So I mean, yeah. So anything else I should add? I don't know. I mean, I'm nervous. I don't know. I never had this kind of interviews. This is like first time. So
That's fine.
I
I
just don't know
mean,
what to pick up, where to leave over. So
no, I mean like yeah, it's we also went through the same interview phases where you get asked these questions, but honestly speaking, given the fact that this is your first experience of having this type of interview, you're actually answering it very well. Um, your background seems to be very intriguing, honestly speaking. You started from 1993. I think you gave me a pretty good amount of information even prior to this interview when we talked together. But now you gave me even a bigger insight, considering the fact that in 2004 you did do your PE um, for the fire department, which I actually didn't know about. Because if the audience don't like, the audience might not know this, but you and me, we did work a little bit. Obviously, I was an amateur at that time, but it was regarding sprinklers and stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting time and period as well. Um, I, I wanted to let Farhan ask you a question. Yeah, so Farhan, go take it away.
Yeah, I was also intrigued hearing the various amount of experience that you had in mechanical engineering. But I did want to ask you, can you tell us a little bit more about how you got into mechanical engineering, as well as the process that you took to get to where you are?
Well, this is very. What I say is, you guys, especially Tazwar, and you guys are, I don't know how, but you guys are very lucky in a sense that when I came in to USA, actually, I did not have enough backups. Backup meaning like I didn't have anyone to look for. I didn't have anyone to. Nobody looked out. Nobody could guide me, and so I went to once I finished, as I was finishing my high school, I somehow, luckily I met one a person. He's from India, and then he actually we spoke a lot. He was an engineering field from India, so I spoke to him like, what can we do? Like that, you guys, I'm sure you guys went through when you finish your high school or before you finish your high school, was a sophomore or senior, you are going through in your mind, or you are brainstorming yourself like what to do, what not to do, what major should we go into. So I was into the same scenario. But when I came in, I saw my friends from my country, other people, they were all in the making money process. Everybody maybe went to high school. After high school, they're like, you know what? Everybody has, their father has construction companies, their relative has construction companies. They used to make so much money, and then nobody. I saw all these people. If I look left, right, I see everybody's making money. I'm the only one, and I'm like, you know what? I want to make money too, but so meeting that gentleman actually, he encouraged me to go through the process of the. And he said, you know what, money you can make it once you finish your college, you get a degree, here you can make money, but finishing up your education is really important. So he helped me guide it through, and he said, you know what, engineering, especially mechanical engineering, is a good field. He had idea about it. So I actually followed his lead, and I went through it. There was not much, I at that time I thought, I would do mechanical engineering and then I'll become a I don't know, automation. Maybe I'll build my own cars. And this is what my I was thinking. But my first job, getting into the fire protection company, that actually changed the whole perception of, because I didn't know much. So when I got my first job, I was taking classes, and then at the same times I was working. So I'm making money and doing the fire protection. So you know what, this could be my career. I can finish my education and I can do this. So this is how I ended up. But you guys are, I'm assuming you guys are way, ahead of your league than I was. So, my background, I don't know how somehow, Allah's help. I think if Allah didn't help me, I don't think I would even finish my college. I probably would, maybe a lot of money, but, you know,
Mm.
so that's what, I don't know how much I could explain, but, you know.
Yeah, your explanation was, I hope for the audience, a lot of people were able to better understand and feel more interested in mechanical engineering. Um, yeah, as far, I wanted to give you the floor to ask a question if you had any.
Yeah, so far, it's been really interesting to hear about what you faced while choosing a major, and a bit of your work experience at the fire protection agency. But can you tell us a bit? Can you tell us a little bit about your experience going through such a rigorous bachelor's program? Specifically, how you managed your classes, and like what the whole experience was for you, especially since you said that you at the time when you were in college, you didn't have much of a network to fall back on. Um, so yeah, I was just a little interested about your uh, college experience as a whole.
That's that was tough. I mean, like I said, not having enough background, not having backups. I spent, I mean, my life. I don't think my sleep was so less. Spending time in class, labs, and going to even tutoring. Like getting help. I was asking when the one professors finish their class, I used to go behind them. You know what? Yeah, how can you help me out with this? So they actually, it was very tough on my end to grab. So, but I had in my mind that, how, I'm sure you guys are maybe different than I am, but my idea was to pass bachelor's, get out, and because my mind was, I know what I was going to do. So that way it became easy for me. I was not pressuring much that no, I have to, do very, like some people, like I have to excel, I have to get 100, I have to get 90s. I was not pressuring myself. Maybe that's the reason I could have done it. Otherwise, if I had pressured myself so much, maybe I would, I don't know what would happen. Maybe I would quit. I can't take the pressure. So sometimes I feel that I took it. Even Tazwa knows that, for some extent, I try not to take pressures. I try to take things easily. I think once you take things easily, it becomes easy. You can make easy things looking at it very hard, or if you look at easy way, you can go easy way out. And I it was tough. Even doing labs, doing the research, the lab reports, and all that. It was not easy. It was very tough, very very tough. That's the reason. If you look at it, it took me about 6 years to finish. Instead of longer, at least three extra semesters it took me to finish.
Mm.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that sounds really strenuous. Yeah, we've been going through similar challenges, I'd say. But I'd say, yeah, since we have each other, like I have Tazor, Farhan, I guess it does make it a bit easier for us. Um, but in the sense of not pressuring, like over pressuring ourselves, I think all of us, when we started college, we pressured ourselves a lot. But later on, when we started to do projects and learned outside of what after college could be like,
Yep.
our mindsets started to change a bit. And that's not to say that we don't try in school. We do. We still try hard, but um, I guess our main goal is to retain the knowledge instead of
Mhm.
really pushing for those scores on the exams.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah. So, Tazwar, why don't you go ahead and ask the next question?
Um, Before I do, I just want to bounce back to that experience part about the way you dealt with the pressure. I think some of it actually rubbed on me, like your characteristics of taking things easy, because I think like Isfar and Farhan knows um like I don't like my stress that I kind of exude is comparatively lower compared to compared to a lot of the other students, because I've been going through the same situation of dealing with all these classes that were very difficult. I'm pretty sure Isfar and Farhan also deals with the same thing because of the rigorous major that we are a part of, and that I can't stress enough that aspect of releasing that pressure, especially in tough situations like you did. Thankfully, I think maybe because we interacted for a long time, it probably rubbed off on me. So, just wanted to mention that. Um, w- Another question that we wanted to ask is in regard to your BS actually. You mentioned that one of your plans was to just go through bachelor's and then go straight to working. I was wondering. I know times have changed recently, like throughout time, because from what I hear now, some people consider bachelor as being a new way of saying high school diplomas, but I'm pretty sure from your period of time, bachelor's was probably a huge thing. So we were wondering if you were to receive a bachelor's, even in today's time, would there be a lot of jobs available for mechanical engineering? Like, or a better question would be, what type of jobs would there be for mechanical engineering if you were to just have a bachelor's degree and not like those higher advanced degrees such as a master or maybe a PhD, based off of your insight,
Mhm.
that is.
Well, luckily, well, I don't want to say luckily, but you guys, none of you are in mechanical field. So, which is, I actually, I'm happy that you guys are in computer engineering, computer science. The reason I'm saying that the future right now that's coming to, and even as a present, is computer science is leading basically. And if I don't know if I mentioned to Tazwar before, I know a quiet, very close friends of mine. They went to um, college over here, and then they did computer science, but they couldn't find jobs. even back then. A job meaning like decent jobs, not like any jobs. And then, but right now, the situation is that I think I spoke to you or someone about this. You see, a lot of Indian and Bangladeshi people right now are doing IT classes. You know how if you came from Bangladesh or any other places and you had a background of engineering, or if you have a background in computers, any sorts of background you have in education, good education, you could take IT classes here 6 months to a year, and that could actually develop you enough to get a good IT jobs. But for you guys, but their backhold is their English and their accent. So also, when they go for interview, um, they have to say things that they didn't do, but they only know the theories. They don't have the practicals. So you three are, being a computer major. If you finish, and I know a close friend of mine. I play badminton with him. He did a computer science over here, and he couldn't find a good job. That happened three years ago. So he ended up taking these classes, IT classes, for 6 months, and he ended up getting a job in Manhattan for $85,000.
Mm.
So, but before he couldn't get job for 45, $50,000. So you being in, since you guys are, I'm sure all of you are in Brooklyn Tech students, and then now you are in NYU, which is actually the leading university in, as we know. So you guys, I don't think you guys would have that issue as far as getting a job. You should not concern about getting a job. I don't think that might be an issue. I think you might, your senior year, somebody might come and hire you guys, so that you don't have to worry about getting a job. I think. Only thing I think that if you are CS major, I think it might be helpful for you guys. I don't know how to take that class, maybe those 6 months classes, that will completely change your experience wise and getting a job. I think it will be 1 2 3 quick, and you can get, when you finish your college, maybe universities, you can get a job maybe 60 70,000 dollars. I know that, but that IT, if you take it, you can easily become chief in a year or two, and you can make easily 150 to $100,000.
Oh,
And
okay.
I know it for a fact. That's the reason I'm saying it. So
Oh, I mean, I I did hear a lot of those IT opportunities. Actually, from what I hear, a lot of my classmates, even a few older individuals, they have been talking a lot more about IT, especially in the recent time period. Um, and like even some of my friends are going into that aspect of or that career field, as it's been booming recently. Not just IT in itself, but CS. But now that you mentioned that those 6 month courses, I've heard of them. Even my dad mentioned it one time during like because it was like advertised in a newspaper, and but I thought, I was a call like, me being a college student, I thought maybe that was just it was just there to, it's like just for advertisement purposes. But um, you now it's like from your words, it seems like it's almost like CS boot camp in a way, where if you ever heard of CS boot camp, you basically go in there to um, basically practice as much as you can with coding itself, and they teach you
and
specific ways in
yeah,
which you can ace these interviews. Um, you were saying,
absolutely.
uh, no, I didn't know that actually, but thank you for telling us
I mean,
that.
for you guys, especially having a background from NYU, and then knowing what you can grab from that 6 months, anyone will grab you. This is almost certain. Any company, any IT company will grab you. One, two, three. This is
Mm,
almost given.
I see.
For very good, your background is here, excellent background, your English is fluent, and you know what you're doing. And even you know, nowadays the interviewers, they kind of, they can hence that if you have field experience or not, because most people are theory, they learn theory, they don't have hand-on experiences, but they don't have enough background to back up, but you guys do, you know, having, so that will actually help you guys a lot. I'm sure you guys don't need it maybe, but if you ever feel that after you finishing up, that you know what, after you finishing your universities, that yes, I can get some help maybe, and that will actually can open up new doors, you know. So just to keep something in mind, you know.
Well, that's very interesting in many ways. Farhan, I'm gonna let you ask a different question now since we went through the whole BS experience in terms of bachelor's. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
All right, yeah. So I know you've been talking about how talent is like really key, and how uh, like having many types of like intensive experiences is actually needed in order to like be able to actually be considered for a job as part of the hiring process. But as you who've had experience in the hiring process, I just wanted to ask you if you want to like provide some insight about how the hiring process was like for you when you were undergoing the interview process, and also like if you could speak into how the interviews were like for you.
Well, it's a few items over here. One is when I got uh, my first interview, I at my third semester, I there was a reference from the college. So I was looking for a job. I wanted to make some money, and because I mentioned earlier, all my relatives, my friends that I knew, they're all making money. So here I'm just going to school, trying to learn, and yet my pocket is empty, so I need to get my, you know, expenses. So I wanted to work, so I went to my department. I said, you know what, do you guys have any links I can I can work somewhere? And then um, they gave me, the department gave me three companies, and one of them was the company that I went, was the first interview. I scheduled with them. I went there. They liked me, and they asked me how much money you want. I said, "Well, give me whatever you guys want." And they were shocked to hear that. Usually, they don't hear that. They're like, you know what? They hear demands. And when I gave in, they were like, because I was happy for them to consider me, and for me, what I was thinking in my mind is that let me get into the working environment, and if I can prove myself in 3 months to 6 months, I'm sure I can ask for any money. That was in my mind. If I what I was thinking, my professor told me to, you going for interview, you have never worked, so don't ask. If they ask you how much money you want, or what do you want, what are you looking for as a salary or wage, don't tell them a number. If they don't like it, they're not going to hire you. But they don't know you, who you are, until you they get to know you. Money is, when they know you, money is irrelevant. They can give right now. If you ask them $15 an hour, they're not going to give you. 6 months later, they will be willing to give you 25. That's exactly what I did. I went in. I told them, look, um, they asked me several questions. Actually, knowing AutoCAD, I'm sure you guys know it too. Knowing AutoCAD helped me to get that job. They
Hmm.
specifically asked me, "Are you familiar with AutoCAD?" And I knew how to draw. I knew how to do the architectural drawing backgrounds at that time. So they that helped me. I got the job. Actually, within 6 months, my salary doubled.
Hmm. I
So,
see.
I don't know how what's going to happen, but I think in the beginning, if you do get an offer from anywhere, best thing is to get yourself inside the working environment. If you go in, because they don't know you who you are. Once they get to know you, let's say they offer you $40,000, you're looking for 60. You go in, work 6 months, you prove yourself, then you started sending resumes to other companies. Now you're already growing experiences at the same times. So I'm sure what, if let's say you 6 months later you send your resume out, somebody offers you $65,000, $70,000, you go to your current company, they're gonna match it. I guarantee you. They're not gonna let you go. They, you know what? We'll match it. You will stay here. We love you. So getting in, I know a lot of people, maybe your friends, they will tell you, oh, you can easily get 70, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. The minute you finish your bachelor's, you can easily make $70,000, $80,000. So in your mind, you are thinking, oh, I'm after I finish my college, I'm worth $70,000, $80,000. So when somebody offers you $45,000, you're reluctant to take it. Can you guys hear me? Or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear
oh,
you
I'm sorry.
clearly.
Yeah. So you'll be reluctant to take it, but for you, the best thing is to take it. You are in the working environment already, and then 6 months later, I'm telling you, you go to any other company, you send resume, they see you have experiences, you working for a company. Don't even put it in your mind. Once you finish, your job is to, you did your education. Now you have to go in the workforce, and which is, you go, nobody knows you, nobody can, somebody can give you reference, but you never worked. So you go in, you prove yourself who you are, and then you establish yourself. That's all I
Mm.
can
Yeah, I
say.
really like your message about how money is not as important, but what's more important is gaining the experience. And especially if it's like your first time, like actually if you're applying for internships or your first time trying to apply for a job after you graduate, the like once you get into that job or while you're during the process, your first impression towards the hiring manager or whoever is interviewing you, that first impression is really crucial. And even after you get the offer, it's important to keep that first impression so that companies like you, and then so that you can gain that attractiveness. And then once you like decide to like apply or like try to go higher up in your position, you have that experience to back you up, have that experience to show like who you are, like in the professional sense. And I
Yeah.
really liked hearing that message. Um, and yeah, so as far if you want to take the floor now and ask a question if you have any.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah,
I mean,
sure. If you have something to say, then go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah.
no. I always speak to Tazwar about, because Tazwar is, I always, almost always, I speak very highly of him in my family, and my children, my wife, everyone, my parents, they all know his name.
But thank you very much for that.
Yeah. So that was great to hear.
All right, as far go, take it away.
Yeah. Um,
Say though,
and
Farhana and Isfar is probably like maybe within or maybe even above when it comes to that humbleness. If I had to mention that, so I'm not. I can't be the only one. We have two individuals right there. So even like, I
No, no,
mean,
they sure they are. I'm sure they are, but I just don't know them enough. But I'm sure they are. There is no doubt. If they're friend with you, close friend with you, they must be humble. There is no doubt. They must be good. Good. Like they say, the flocks of the same feather, feathers of the same bird flocks together. So you guys, unless you guys are all good, you're not gonna stay together. So you guys are close friends, stay school through colleges now. So definitely you guys are all same, similar. in every aspect. And I understand that, of course, you know.
Mm.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question. So we talked about, or I guess we covered how you faced college, how you landed your first job, and how all that preliminary experience was for you. But when it comes to working day to day, are you satisfied with your work life in terms of both enjoying the tasks and yeah, yeah? So like, do you find like the day to day routine that you have to be satisfying as an engineer?
Well, that's a very good question. I actually being in any profession, if you don't like what do you do, it could be anything. It could be from A to Z, any sorts of work that you do. If you don't like getting up in the morning, going to what are you going to do, that's not actually a that's not your profession. So I know a lot of people go to work, get up in the morning, go to work. They don't like the work. They go because they have to make money. They have to at the end of the day they have to support their family, but they don't like. I hear they're complaining. I know my brother-in-law. He complains about his job almost every day to me. I speak to him few times a day, and he complains about his boss, but he doesn't have any other alternates. So I always tell him, look, if you why you if you're complaining, you don't like the jobs, and just find out what do you like. Even you're working here Saturday, Sunday, you have time, other time. Find out what you like. If you want to open up your own business or similar to what you're doing, try it. Why don't you? So what at my point when I started fire protection in the beginning. I really, since I didn't have any other experience, so I actually liked it. My my likeness actually came more of meeting that my chief engineer. He actually was so nice, so humble. Like said, as now what about close to 20 years, he's still. I had a meeting at Con Edison today at Jamaica because I'm working have a job small over there. Today with me at the meeting. So India, and he's Hindu, I'm Muslim, but he's still as a profession as a professional, he was so charming. He got me into the fire protection. He hooked me up basically because of him. I really liked fire protection. So all these times in my mind, I was thinking, when can I do my own business? All this time I've been thinking. He always tell me, stay in the business, learn the business first. It doesn't matter how many years it takes. You can start your business tomorrow, but if you don't know enough, then you're not gonna do well. But once you know all the ins and out, and then I told him, okay, fine, I'll listen to you. Whatever is you're like a father to me. So whatever you guide me, whatever your guidance is, I'll listen. So years back, 3 4 4 years back, he told me this is the time if you want to do it, and I can help you out. So I opened up my own business, and I actually like construction. I even when I was in high school, um, I forgot to mention that I used to work. You guys have Saturday Sundays off, so I had Saturday Sundays off as well, holidays. So I was working those days in construction. I Every day I had off. It could be a holiday. It could be definitely the whole summer. Saturday, Sunday, I worked in construction. So that actually interested me in construction. But when I met him in fire protection, he changed the whole perspective on construction. So construction is a general term, But when I got into that fire protection, then I said, you know what, this is what I want to do. So even when I moved on to Flack and Kurtz, by the way, Flack and Kurtz is the company who designed, um, did the MEP, mechanical engineering and fire protection for Barclay Center. So I actually designed the sprinkler risers and the from the base drawing. So if you ever got the chance to take a look at the drawings for Barclay Centers, I Flack and Kurtz is the name of the company. That was the company I worked for. So I like what I'm doing, and that's the reason interest is. I like fire protection. I like construction. So I enjoy it. I enjoyed. I'm not. I used to, used to be tough when I was doing colleges and working. It was tough to get up in the morning with the alarm is going on and all that nonsense. But still, I now I'm happy. Alhamdulillah. Having my another thought. If you what I learned at Flack and Kurtz, if you finish your college and let's say you become a PE, it doesn't. You might get little more salary, but if you work for a big company like Flack and Kurtz, your PE doesn't count. This is what I realized. So basically, it was irrelevant for me to be the same. So I was like, whoa, it's very, useless. And then I spoke to the chief, and he was telling me, okay, if you're a PE working for a big company, it's not gonna do any good. Only reason is it will be good if you have your own companies, or if you work for a small company and you will be very valuable. But if you work for the big companies, they're gonna, because to you, if you leave, they don't care because they have 14 others PEs. So I kind of, I forgot to mention that. So if you ever go into your own business, and if you get into PE, go into your own business. Think about it, how you can do your own business. It's much better than working for somebody else. Definitely, if you can ever do it, and I'm sure you guys will. Inshallah.
So, um, I just wanna, yeah, I just wanna say, I just wanna ask one more question, and then we will end it off for today. And it's a little bit generic, but I think for the most part, most people would love to hear your honest opinion on it. So I'll start off. Essentially, our last question that we as a group came up with and feel like we should ask you is if there's one advice that we can or you would want to give to all the other aspiring engineers, especially in the tough times that we might be facing right now, what would that advice be? And would you ever go back in time to maybe fix that, or do you feel like that's something that helped you as you were going through the process of becoming an engineer?
Thank you. If I go back, I don't think I would change anything as far as my life as college and work wise. I think what I did is was good for me. And if what I know now, if I knew then, maybe I would start my business earlier. That's the only thing I could say, but I don't think anything else I would change. And also, engineering is basically you are the heart and soul of the daily life. Without engineers, nothing moves. If you don't have engineers, the cars don't go through the tunnel. If your water doesn't work, and if there is not enough engineers, all these the physical aspects of, you see, even you go to a park, you see a seesaw. There's physics and engineering in there. So the swing that we sit in, our children sits in, is all we see. We think engineering is very, oh my God, is engineering, is medical and all this. We think tough, but if you actually look into it, like calm down, close your eyes. If you look around it, everything is physics and engineering basically.
Mm.
So
Well,
engineering is I think uh, say it again.
no, no, you continue.
Oh, okay, no. So I would I would not change anything in my life if I go back, and also I think anyone who has a chance of becoming an engineer, I think they should. And engineering is a great field in USA, as of I know, in New York City especially. And then everybody in every profession, nobody you don't usually hear the sad stories. You hear only the shine stories. You like in baseball, you hear A rods and all that. Whoever shines, you hear them, but there are millions in the process that which you don't hear of. But engineering is, if you become an engineer, there are you can be really helpful to the society, and especially your future will be bright, and in financially, and your family, and in every aspect. So you know
Well, that was a very good response. Um, I want to thank you very much for you able to come. I know it's very hard sometimes to actually get the opportunity or find the time to actually, you know, do these types of interviews as they do take some time. But we really appreciate your ability to give everyone a
Yeah.
kind of, a greater insight into your field as with the experience that you had. We really want to thank you very much for this opportunity for us and everyone else to attain some of your experience and some of your actual insights into this field. So thank you very much in that regards. Other than that, we will start signing out. Make
I
sure.
thank you all for having me. I had a great time, even though this is the first time I have done any official interviews this way, but it's still I'm really thankful to you guys.
You did very well, and we thank you very much. Make sure everyone please comment, like and subscribe, and DevTube will be signing out. Take care.